Which one is your favorite? That was the second part of that question.
The one that didn't come up yet. The one in Spider-Man. Where did you see it? Oh, it is so funny. And it wasn't none of these are my idea. They tell me what to do. So there you go. But this one is genius. Can I describe it? Should I tell it? Am I allowed? All right. But you mustn't tell anybody. If they find out it gets around, they may not give me any more cameos. There's a big battle going on with Spider-Man and the Lizard in a library. I'm the librarian. And I'm stamping books. So I'm just stamping books, and I have earphones on, and I'm listening to music. So while I'm stamping the books, I'm going... And this life and death battle is going on. I don't know it, I don't hear them. That's what it is, and it looks so funny, and I look so dumb. That's it.
Excellent question.
Question for Stan.
Makes sense?
Ever since I was a child, you've been one of my biggest idols. And I remember...
Your favorite what?
Idols.
One of them.
They will sing for you now.
And I figured early on that I want to be the next you. I want to be the next Stan Lee and create my version of Marvel. How can I create my Marvel? Do you have any tips on that?
How can you create Marvel?
How can he be you?
Listen, I've got enough competition. First of all, if you want to be like me, you have to be smart enough and lucky enough to pick guys like this to work with. I was reasonably good at what I did, but I promise you, if I didn't have John Romita, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Gene Colan, John Buscema, Gil Kane, and all of them drawing these scripts, I'd be one of the guys outside buying the tickets to come in and listen to other people talk. All I did was a lot of words. These artists like this make those words come alive and make those words look magical. So I'll admit, I think I'm wonderful, but I wouldn't have been the artist.
So he has no answer for you, basically. Yeah, he has to glean something from that. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to have to spend 60 or 70 years working out. I don't know how the hell you'll do it. I don't know if you can follow him.
Oh, you can't follow me. Nobody can follow me.
If you're just one level below, then you're in competition with the rest of the writers in comics. So you're being good company.
I'm getting to like you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Gave him a chance to be.
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee.
My name is Bruno. I have only 120 questions, so let's take this opportunity to thank you for bringing this fantastic American art form to the public. And watching it explode has been fantastic. You inspired me to be an artist. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You have to forgive me, as wonderful as I seem to be. One thing I've learned, as you get on in years, your hearing gets bad. I can hear your voice, but I can't make out the words clearly, and it's not your fault, it's me. So what did he say?
He's thanking you for everything you've done, and you owe him $100.
120.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll settle up later on.
Hi, my name is Shane. First of all, Stan, I'd like to tell you that I've been an admirer of your work since I was about 4 years old. My first introduction was the Spider-Man cartoon from the 60s, and then seeing the Incredible Hulk in prime time. Anyway, on to my question.
Those Spider-Man cartoons of the 60s and the Hulk cartoons of the 60s, love them all.
That's the question?
No, that was just the preface. And now to my question. Now, there seem to be a lot of characters in the Marvel Universe whose first and last names start with the same letter, like Peter Parker, Reed Richards, Bruce Banner, and I was just wondering, was that done on purpose?
Boy, you talk fast.
Names begin with the same letters.
Oh, that's obvious. I have the world's worst memory. I hate to admit that I have a flaw, but I have the worst. And I couldn't remember the names of my characters. For example, in the Hulk, at the time I was writing the Hulk, there was a guy who had a television show called Bob Banner. I called the Hulk Bruce Banner, but sometimes when I'd be writing the script, I'd write Bob Banner. I didn't remember which one he was. And I'd get fan mail. I had to give out 1 million no prizes. Fan mail from people saying, don't you know the name of your own character? It's Bruce. So I figured I'm going to give every character, if I can, the same letter for his first name as his last name. So if I remember one name, it gives me a clue to what the other name is. That's why I did it. Reed Richards, and on and on.
Actually, before we go on to the next question, when they did the series in the 70s or the 70s, the Hulk, with Bill Bixby.
Great series.
They named him David Banner, correct? Instead of Bruce. There was a rumor that the name Bruce, and I swear this is a quality rumor,
And it's
the name
true.
Bruce was too effeminate.
The network, those morons at the network, said, we want to change his name. I said, you can't change his name, it's Bruce Banner. I said, no, Bruce sounds a little effeminate. You know, like Bruce Jenner, the Olympic champion. But anyway, we couldn't talk him out of it. He became David Banner. So naturally, you know, I roll with the punches. I said, well, as everybody knows, his name was Bruce David Banner.
That's right. Middle name. Okay, next question.
You have a good memory.
I'm not good.
No, I believe you're wrong.
Stan, if you were still writing comics...
Why am I getting all the questions? This man is a fount of information.
All right, how about that?
Excellent, way to go. Good color.
If you were still writing comics and you had to write a fight between like the Hulk and Juggernaut, who do you think would win?
Now I'm going to give you the most profound answer you ever. Anytime you want to know who would win a fight between the Hulk and Galactus or Spider-Man and the Human Toy or anything, the correct answer is it depends on who's writing the story and who he wants to win. Because the writer is like God. The writer can kill a character, bring the character back to life. The writer can do anything.
All right, listen, I have an answer for you. The Juggernaut does not increase in strength. The Hulk's strength increases, depending on how pissed off he is.
Increases exponentially.
There's your answer. There's your answer.
Yeah.
You got it from the fountainhead.
I'm amazed I got an ovation for that answer. That's an amazing thing.
Hi, I want to open with a point about the Bruce Banner David.
He wants
Banner
to
thing.
talk about the Bruce Banner
all right.
conversation.
What about Bruce Wayne? I mean, didn't
We have no idea.
Batman series in the 60s?
Question.
Because DC Comics was owned by Warner Brothers, and nobody questions Warner Brothers. Oh, I gotta tell you a funny thing about this. Is so funny. I don't know if I ever told you this. In the beginning, after we started the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and the Hulk, and the books really sold well, and we realized we were onto something, the name of our company was Atlas Publications. And I said to my publisher, you know, we ought to change our name, because we're not doing the same kind of stuff anymore. We have a new audience. So he said, okay, come up with a new name, and I came up with Marvel. I word Marvel because I've always liked advertising and slogans. And with Marvel, you could say things like, make mine Marvel, Marvel marches on, welcome to the Marvel age of comics. It's a great name. DC, which was then called National Comics, they were always copying us, and they said, well, Marvel changed their name, let's change our name. Now, I couldn't believe this. They paid some company. I didn't know there were companies who did this. They paid a company which specializes in dreaming up names. They paid a lot of money and said, give us a name that's as good or better than Marvel. And after a lot of thought and a lot of money changing names, they came up with DC. So we have Marvel Comics, and they have DC. I think that's the funniest thing I ever heard. And they get that brilliant roll of all the characters and the colors, and then it says Marvel. And their movies start, and you see DC. Don't tell anybody, though. I don't want to sell.
Too bad.
Yes, next question, please.
Why do the most successful superheroes tend to be orphans?
Orphans? Yeah, I heard that. Why are the most successful? My hearing is coming back. I want that man to ask all the questions.
Why are you all orphans? No, you want to protect the family. Right? You didn't want anybody to have that leverage against them.
No, I'm trying to think if they are all orphans.
Well, Peter Parker was an orphan because his parents were murdered.
We never discussed who the parents were of a lot of the other characters, now that I think.
So which ones were orphans? Peter Parker's parents were murdered. All right.
The Fantastic Four, I don't know who their parents were.
With them, it's been established along the way their parents were either dead or lost in another universe.
But you never established it because subsequent writers would delve into the history of the characters and create that.
Yeah, and I hated that. I would have wanted to do that, but all right.
Well, like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, or even Captain America, his parents were referred to as having been dead.
All right, but that's not that they were
You
giving up
never
birth.
knew Captain America's parents. In Steve Rogers, you never knew, or have they established that too?
Not that I remember, no.
No. Okay.
But Peter Parker's parents were murdered. The story was done after you were off the character.
No. Peter Parker's parents had to be murdered so that I could give him his aunt to live with. And I wanted him to be an orphan. I wanted Peter Parker to have a really tough life. I was not in a good mood. I never paid much attention. I don't know who Daredevil... Well, wait, Daredevil's father was killed. That was part of his origin. Iron Man, we never discussed his parents, but I assume his father must have been wealthy too. And Dr. Strange, God knows.
Bruce Banner's parents, we don't know anything about them. Maybe his father was gay, we don't know.
See, that question that was just asked, to you it's an innocent, casual question. That may cause this man to go back to the bullpen. Rethinking all the origins of the... You may have started a whole new series of comic books. Heroes' origins. You won't take a penny for it.
Super orphanage.